Hello, everyone. Good day to you. Today is May 8th, 2019. This is Molly McCord. Thank you for joining me today as we take a look at the intuitive astrology and energies of May 8th to May 15th. And we have a lot happening right now as the sun in Taurus is at 17 degrees, just over halfway through this astrological sign, and we are being asked to look at how we are solidly building our lives. Taurus is about our survival, our physical world, our meeting our own needs and understanding what those needs are, understanding how we can create the life that we want, that has value, that has meaning to us, based on our own connection to abundance, to self-value, self-worth, understanding that you're worthy and feeling strong in that. So this is a strengthening energy, and it's something that we are being asked to solidify within ourselves, energetically, but also mentally. On Monday, May 6th, Mercury entered Taurus, and you might have felt a shift. I know I did. It felt like a calming. It felt like a grounding and a simplicity. It was a good slow-down energy for Mercury. Mercury has not been in an earth sign for many, many months. And so now Mercury is finally able to put his feet on the ground, to stop the fast pace of running that he does in Aries, and to also be further away from that long time he spent swimming through the watery world of Pisces. So Mercury is now back on solid ground. And again, he hasn't been in an earth sign since January. So we're coming back down to earth mentally, and we're looking at what is important right now. Mercury in Taurus observes, it assesses, it determines what is worth time, what is worth the energy, and of course, what is worth the money. What do I invest in? And how do I invest my time, my energy, my money in where I make myself communicate, talk, speak, write, all these mercurial energies, they slow down in Taurus. They reach a point of stopping even because they don't want to keep going at a fast pace. This is a sense of, I'm going to watch what happens, and I'm actually going to observe myself in a different way. Mercury is conjunct Uranus as I do this broadcast, and that is a very juicy, spicy, exciting energy. They're conjunct at 3 degrees. And let's see, Uranus is 3 degrees and 24 minutes. And as I do this show, Mercury's at 3 degrees, just about nearly conjunct. Okay, so it's a dynamic energy here of action, thoughts, breakthroughs, new solutions, new opportunities. Anytime a planet meets up with Mercury, something breaks free. It's a liberation energy. But why it's actually a little different with Mercury, because Uranus is the higher octave energy of Mercury. So Mercury is human mind, human thoughts, human communication. Uranus is cosmic mind, cosmic intelligence, cosmic communications. So when these two meet up, there's a new alignment between the human thoughts and universal thoughts. It is an opening, even a download of energies that come through, and you get those breakthroughs. You get the understanding of what matters, what is of interest to you, and there are potentials for these quick solutions, fast words, instant understandings that come out of your mind, but it's actually because you've just received a download from that powerful Uranus energy. So what an interesting day, because I feel like there's been a lot going on, and things tend to pick up the pace Mercury is about daily energies that we experience, and when it connects with Uranus, there is a quickening. Uranus is also the energy of awakening, the great awakening, the understanding that more is going on than meets the eye. New information is transpiring and coming through, new understandings of a cosmic level, a bigger picture of the Earth's purpose in the solar system, and the ways that humanity is being very strongly influenced right now by energies beyond what we can see, but we sense or we feel it. And I feel a dynamic shift here, something dynamic moving the middle of this week because of this connection to Uranus. So we'll see what transpires, and perhaps you've even been feeling this in your world too. We have an interesting dialogue happening right now between the three personal planets, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. They are doing a dance in each other's ruling energies. Venus is in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's a three-way connection now between the three personal planets. And this gives energy to our personal relationships, our daily habits, what we're experiencing in our personal orbits. And it's re-energizing each of these three planets. They're all connected. They're all talking to each other at an energetic level. They're all supporting each other. And so this week, because there is this dance between the personal planets, you could be feeling it in your personal world. And it feels like there's movement here as these planets are all making connections to the outer planets. Again, this is important because of how it activates the human energies to higher frequencies. So I just spoke about how Mercury connecting with Uranus is an activation, especially because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Well, just a few days ago, we had Mars opposing Jupiter at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. Mars is still in Gemini, now at 25 degrees, and that opposition was a revelation, something that you understood that you wanted, that you were willing to go for, a new understanding or a new perspective on where you want to put your energy and put your daily efforts. And then we have Venus in Aries, who just had a square to Saturn at 20 degrees Capricorn retrograde, and will also be having a square to Pluto at 23 degrees Capricorn retrograde. So Venus in Aries squaring these planets in Capricorn gives her tension or a challenge around finances, relationships, and what she wants. And she could feel a frustration that I know what I want and I can't get it. It's not happening. There's no real true movement. And Venus in Aries can be impatient. She wants to be the boss, but she's answering to Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, who are the bigger bosses, if you will. And so she has a sense of being very clear in who she is without letting these energies affect her self-esteem, affect her desires, or affect where she's going next. Because even though you're at a stop sign, that's only temporary. It's only temporary. So Venus is making these squares to the planets in Capricorn. When she makes this exact square to Pluto, which will be, we'll call it May 8th to May 10th, Wednesday through Friday would be the hot zone. This is a power struggle. This is maybe feeling like you have to fight that Venus and Aries fight. You're really assessing where you're putting your energy. There's something where Venus wants to receive. That's her typical archetypal energy. In Aries, she's a dynamic go-getter. So she's not waiting around for somebody to bring her roses. She's ready to do what she needs to do. But when she meets up with Pluto, there's a power struggle, and what it's actually doing is that this Pluto energy, it always kills something. That's what Pluto does. It's how we transform. It's like something has to die so that a new understanding can be understood, something higher comes about. And I feel like this Venus squaring Pluto is asking Venus to not be too impulsive or impatient, to look at any childish energies in her subconscious or unconscious self that need to be seen. And if you can think of every planet as representing an aspect of your own energy field and an aspect of your own consciousness, then this is showing us where there's a part of us with Venus and Aries that really wants something now. And the Pluto energy represents our fears around whether or not we are committed to creating it, whether or not we really can put in the effort to make it happen if it doesn't show up right away. And it's asking us to look at any fears that have been residing in our belief systems that we need to let go of, to transmute, transform, and heal. Again, this can be around self-esteem. This can be where you felt you've given your power away. This can bring up any tension with females, with women, around anything that you want and you value, and there is something that you think you have to fight for, and even fighting for it can be an illusion. So Venus has this struggle with Pluto, and then right after that, she trines Jupiter at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So she comes out of this struggle with a new belief in herself, a new understanding of how she can keep trusting what she doesn't see. If something was really hard or got her down, if she felt stressed out about money, if there was a big relationship issue that transpired, she meets up with this Jupiter, and it gives her a new motivation, a new injection of energy and strength, which is fantastic. And then Venus will connect with Mars through a sextile. And this sextile between the two of them, Venus and Mars, the feminine and the masculine, the lovers, is a connection between our own feminine and masculine energies working together in harmony, ease, things just feeling that they're locked in and flowing. And then they're going to travel together until May 15th, next week, when they both transition into their next sign. So right now, both Venus and Mars are in masculine energies. Venus in Aries, Mars in Gemini. Then they're going to transition into softer energies and remain in a sextile as Venus enters Taurus and Mars enters Cancer. So there is harmony here. There's things happening in our relationships that are supportive. And this can also be your relationship with yourself. Of course, it depends on where these energies are showing up in your own chart. But there's this heavy realignment, and maybe heavy isn't the best word. It's a focused realignment of understanding more of yourself. And I'm getting the image of it starting at the root chakra and connecting to the throat chakra, and having that strength in communications, that clarity, even the simplicity, where maybe something felt complicated, stressful, intense before, now there's a harmony. Maybe there's an understanding of what you need to say, or something's been reworked in your mind mentally around what you want, what you need, and what matters to you at this time. Because Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are the first three signs of the zodiac, they're about our individuality forming. It's a progressive energy that starts in Aries, goes to Taurus, and then to Gemini, and then, of course, on to Cancer. So this is a personal energy stream. It's a personal understanding that is being worked within us. And I feel it as, I'm just getting the image of DNA turning, spinning, awakening, activating, that the DNA moves fast and that it's spinning in a way. The DNA spinning is actually in harmony with the Earth's energy field, part of how we feel in alignment. And then it also shows up through the Schumann resonance. And it also connects to, I'm seeing this pulsing energy above the Earth stratospheres that is moving too. So there's a harmonic vibration here. There's something around tapping into the essence of who you are, what you value, what you need, that connects you to bigger cosmic energies. And this is something that we feel it individually, and we feel it differently because we are each on different timelines. You are on a different timeline than anyone else around you because of how we are each imprinted with different energies that move at different speeds. And it's within these energies that we create our reality, that create our pace, that create, of course, our experiences and what we move through in life, the pace that we move through. And this is also part of what your astrology chart shows, is the different timelines of your reality. So we're each in our own timeline of our own growth, and that's why, for example, if you were, say, on Facebook, and if you're reading different types of spiritual newsletters or spiritual updates, and everyone kind of has their own take on something, right? And they'll say, this is a time of abundance. This is a time of letting go. This is a time of clearing. Like, you'll get all these different messages, right? Well, all these different messages that people are sharing are contributing to different timelines that people are experiencing. And so they're speaking to those in a similar wavelength or timeline, and that's why it resonates. So, for example, you could read something that absolutely resonates with you, and then somebody else's messages at that same time, don't resonate at all. So we're on different timelines, and that's what we're the beauty of this planet, the beauty of so many different people sharing their gifts and their messages is because of how it contributes to what people need at different places in their growth. So this is a time of really being clear on who you are and what matters to you. And this is going to continue here over the next week because the sun in Taurus, like I said, is at 17 degrees today. On Thursday, May 9th, the sun will be at 18 degrees of Taurus and make a lovely sextile to Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces. And talk about a vacation day, or you want to have a really good lunch or a really good dinner, or you're ready to take a great break. I mean, the connection between Taurus and Pisces is finding how life is beautiful, finding the best in life and wanting a break. You could feel lazy. You could feel ready for some downtime, because this is a receptive energy that is asking us to take a pause and look around and look at what is in your reality and in your physical world, and aren't these strawberries delicious, and isn't this an amazing slice of chocolate cake, and I want to watch a new movie. I want to, enjoy the best of this reality, but then I kind of want to go to another reality and take a break from everything happening in my daily life. So this is a really lovely connection of the sun sextiling Neptune, which only happens twice a year. It will happen again when the sun is in Capricorn, and that won't be until next January. So this is a time of enjoying the sextile, of the supportive earth energy of Taurus, grounding and bringing a sense of meaning to that Neptune in Pisces that at times just wants to float away. So that's a lovely aspect that we have going on. Then the sun moves on, and the sun will make a trine to both Saturn and Pluto over the next week. And this is a really supportive energy that only happens twice a year, and it's when the sun is in earth signs, the earth sign of Taurus and the earth sign of Virgo. So when the sun is getting to 20 degrees of Taurus, which will happen late on Friday and early on Saturday, there are solid things that are determined. There's a solid choice. There's some progress and movement and growth. There's stabilization. When the sun trines Saturn, things are clear, things are known. There could be decisions that are made around money, around work, around jobs. If you're waiting for something to connect, I hope that you experience it as the sun in Taurus trines Saturn and Pluto, because it's a stabilizing energy. And again, that will happen, we'll call it Friday, Saturday. And even though Saturn is retrograde and will be back at 20 degrees later in the year, it won't make the same trine, of course, to the sun in the same manner. So this could be something that you have clarity on internally with Saturn being retrograde, where you just know the direction and the commitments you need to make now. There's something very clear within you around what that next Capricorn goal, achievement, or direction is. And then the sun moves on and it gets to 23 degrees of Taurus, where it trines that powerful Pluto energy. And Pluto is also retrograde. And this trine will be exact. We'll call it next Tuesday, Wednesday. That's the 14th and 15th. And this is a trine of a sense of power. And this can be something that, again, you feel shift inside of you because of Pluto being retrograde. But there's a sense of really feeling passionate about what you want. And this is a forceful energy that is actually motivating. It's the ambitions. It's the drive. It's the sense of this is what I'm going for, and no one can change my mind, because something locks in here around your sense of power. That's what Pluto does, and it shows us what needs to change as well. And so there could be a sense of either a part of you, your energy field, or your consciousness that is ready to make some necessary yet powerful changes that you know pay off, that you know bring a reward. And again, this is the middle of next week. And if you have any planets or points at 23 degrees of the Earth signs, this will be working with you more personally. But this is, because it's in earth signs, this is the physical world. So yes, this is money and finances and career and profession and what you are building, what you're moving towards, what you want to move towards, what your life is about. The life you're building for yourself receives this infusion of power when the sun trines Pluto, which is excellent. We'll take it when it shows up. Again, only twice a year. The next time this will happen is when the sun is in Virgo. So every time the planets are in the earth signs, it's showing us our earthly reality. It's showing us what we have here in our physical world, where we're ready to make some new choices or decisions. And also, I feel that there's something that's connected to gratitude here, which would actually be the Neptune and Pisces energy of the gratitude for what we do have and the gratefulness for what has supported you and supported your life along the way. Because the more that we practice gratitude, the more that we create that energy in our lives. And we have so much. We have so much, and there's things that we can forget we're grateful for. There's things where we just take it for granted. Well, this is asking you to look at your life and to look at what you're grateful for, and then that is how you will create more of what you want. So it's a really lovely energy this week. The sun in Taurus is strong, and it receives strong support from Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune over the next week. So I hope this means that there are good things in the works for you in your own personal world. And to be clear on how the universe, God, Source, Spirit, is infinitely more creative than we are. And it can find solutions. It can show us solutions. It can help us move through something big or emotional or tough when we ask. And perhaps this is part of the cosmic reminder of Mercury conjunct Uranus, is, are you asking for what you need? Are you asking for support? Are you asking for guidance? Are you asking for clarity? It can be anything. I mean, if you're undergoing a big life change or an exciting new transition in your world, you can ask for support to make it easier, to make it better, to make it benefit as many people as possible. You can ask for all of that and then energetically see how it shows up. So it is an interesting time right now as the personal planets are all dancing together in harmony, and the sun is again receiving big evolutionary support from the outer planets. So part of what this means is to ensure we're trusting what's unfolding and to trust how our physical world, our physical reality is changing. It's changing permanently. And I know I touch on that topic quite regularly here on this show. And what I see is that there's a lot of really good changes happening. There's a lot of really good things unfolding, but they're not evident. They're not in the public eye. They aren't something you can turn on the news and see. There's a lot happening away from the public eye that is coming down and being dismantled and being taken apart. And this is happening for a very important purpose. And it's this real literal battle between the dark and the light. And it's this battle between what is good for humanity and what is bad for humanity. And so we have the Pluto in Capricorn, which is all of the power that has been, given or really held by the elite few, the few families, the few countries, the few power figures. And we have Saturn in Capricorn, which is the authorities that are putting a check on this unchecked power, that are saying, okay, you've been doing this behind closed doors, or there's been secret, there's been corruption, there's been, the child trafficking, the sex trafficking, the human trafficking, all the horrible abuse, all these things that are all connected to governments, to politics, and to certain leaders, and all of this is being dismantled, and it's allowing us to make new choices. And part of this Capricorn energy is to remember that we always have the power to keep going, because Capricorn is long-term, and it's the ways that we take on something for the long term, the commitment, the responsibility, the strategies, and the maturity to stay the course and to follow what needs to happen. So there's a lot happening for the good of all. And you won't see it on the news, and you won't see it in the newspapers, and you won't see it, with talking heads on television. But it's happening, and that's part of the astrology right now, is what is dismantling. It has served its purpose energetically. It has revealed people's true characters or their true colors. It's revealed what has been happening behind closed doors. It's no longer acceptable, that needs to be ended, and that needs to have consequences, which is also the Saturn in Capricorn, of consequences and karmic choices that need to be taken care of. Justice, truth, understanding that humanity deserves and needs real leaders and people who have a goodness to them and a purity of integrity and good character. And people who have not acted that way, or who have a public figure but a very gross private character, they're being revealed. And this is a big thing because of the upcoming elections here in the United States and other different changes in politics. In Japan, the Prime Minister, there's been changes. In Japan, there's been changes happening that are not made public yet in other countries, because all this is connected, right? All of these things are interwoven. And on the surface, it could look like one thing, but it's what's not visible. It's what's not visible to the public eye. And that's also Capricorn, is it's a security clearance. You don't have the security clearance, or this is classified information. Well, all that's coming out, right? And all that's meant to be revealed so that the public, us, we can see what's really been going on. So I find it fascinating here that all this Capricorn energy is playing out, and it's definitely coming up for as I said, for the U.S. elections. And, so many people are in the running or want to be, a part of this presidential election for 2020. I'm curious if there'll be any independents that step forth and want to throw their hat in the ring. Good luck to anyone, because it's an interesting time. And, there are people who are told that they need to run for president. They are the ones that answer to a bigger authority, and they've been told that they need to put their hat in the ring. So stay smart, stay aware, keep asking questions around what's happening, and know that it's it's like a slow leak at times that can be really unsatisfying when you're thirsty and you just want a really good cup of water and it takes forever for that cup to be filled up. There is a slow drip here, and we're living in very big times, okay? And I know many of you know this. We're living in very big times, and there's going to be a lot of things that change in the next decade. And there's already been so many things that have changed and been taken apart and dismantled that what we are setting up is a new baseline for humanity. And we're saying this is what we require. And the bad actors, the dark players, the dark practices that have been going on behind closed doors, like, not to mention all the children. All the children. I mean, so many children who have been a part of all this. This is the stuff that we're saying no more. So the fall can be shocking to many people. The fall of these structures, astrologically, we can see these trends and the themes and the cycles of it all. But it's still going to be world-shocking stuff. And what we can do during these times is to keep our eyes on the long term and to stay focused on our new choices and our next leaders and our next direction forward and the ways we can self-correct without losing our sovereignty, our free will, without losing some of the best things about ourselves and our lives. So we're moving through this energy right now. Yes, it's a big time. Yes, it's confusing. I mean, it's like, is everybody lying? Probably yes. Probably everybody's lying. Everyone's protecting themselves. Everyone's hoping pictures don't get out. Everyone's hoping the videos or the surveillance isn't released. Of course, everything is surveilled or recorded these days, and for decades it's been that way. In some places too, like in some buildings and industries. So there's a lot of people with a lot to hide, and this is a time of those secrets coming out because humanity's needing truer leaders. And there's going to be the new leaders who come forth and who come out that are ready. They're ready, and they know that they can take the reins and make some solid decisions. So this is part 2 of the strong Capricorn energies that reached their peak in 2020. But we get another powerful dose of information, messages, revelations in July with the July eclipses. So we are moving forward, as always. And again, remember, everyone's on different timelines. So that's why there can be things that you have no interest in and you don't care and you're not aware of it, or you don't know who somebody is, or you're not connected to something, because there's things that we advance past, and energetically it's too heavy, it weighs us down, it doesn't even feel comfortable to talk about it. But part of what our responsibility is to not go too far off the path that we're out of touch, or to go too far away from what humanity really needs, because then you can basically be living on a mountain high. You've distanced yourself too much that you don't contribute. So there is an interesting new alignment here around how you honor where you're at on your path and what is right for you energetically, but also how you contribute to the healing, the awakening, and what people are needing right now, because we need each other. And that's a really big thing about this time period, is that we need each other. We think we need our phones. We think we need our computers and our televisions and our tablets, but we really need each other. And we need conversations, and we need to be heard, and we need to share what we feel and what we think, and all of this is the true essence of humanity. So don't lose sight of that in your own life, in your own world, the importance of human relationships and not just scrolling on a screen or clicking a like button. We're more than that. And we have to also give energy to those parts of ourselves that need the human touch, the human connection. And that's also how we continue to be there for each other and to support each other, which is going to be very important in the next decade, more than ever. I mean, we're moving into energies that have never happened. They've never happened. So stay aware of your primary relationships. Meet your neighbor, right? Get to know who lives across the street, or just start to have those easy hello conversations with the people down the hall or at the mailboxes. Don't forget about what matters for the long term, which is each other, because a lot's changing, and yet we figure this out together. So stay smart with your ability to question, to think and feel intuitively if something is off, if something doesn't make sense. Most things don't make sense right now because it's not all of the story or all of the information. But use this to trust yourself and to trust the messages you're receiving at a gut level, at an intuitive level, at an energetic level. Trust yourself. And find some things to do this week that show you why you love your life. That would be a great assignment, is to look at, what do I love about my life? And what do I appreciate? And what do I have gratitude for? And what am I excited to try or experience next? Focus on your happiness. Focus on your gratitude. Focus on the appreciation for people in your life who contribute and support you in a positive way. Because this is a lovely time to hone in on those simple joys and to understand that you're living during the Great Awakening and the Great Opening Up, and that we're here at a pivotal time in human history. And I've said before, years down the line, decades down the line, you will say, I was there. I was there for that. I was experiencing that. It's that kind of a big thing of energies that we're moving through. So take care of yourself always, but then take time to appreciate and feel gratitude for your life, your loved ones, your body, what you have, whether that's in the fridge or on the shelf, and to just feel grateful for what you have created in your world and in your life. And then again, that energy will expand and keep growing. So I hope this show is giving you some good things to think about. And I will be back on Monday with another show for you focused on a healing theme that incorporates astrology. Also, I wanted to let you know that for those of you who are interested in giving yourself a personal reading, if you will, my introductory astrology course is on sale until May 15th, 2019. It's $40 off, and you will learn so much about your energy. You're going to learn so much about yourself that in the first class alone, you will say, that's why diets don't work for me, or that's why I can't change things easily. You're going to learn so much about yourself because that is your power. Understanding who you are, understanding your energy, understanding your soul's mission, your healing energies, your emotional needs, your soul growth in this lifetime. All of that is in your natal astrology chart. Keep in mind, I teach Western astrology, and there's a lot of good information here that you'd receive. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. All the classes are available on demand, and it's self-paced. So you do it when you have time, and you can come back and revisit the information too. So it's really flexible. So check out the link for more information. It's below this podcast, below this video. And in the meantime, I hope you really enjoy the energies of this week in May. And thank you so much for connecting and joining me. It's always a pleasure. Take good care, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.